Hey everybody, how are you doing? This is Kim Hamer, live on YouTube. I'm back. First thing is to say thank you to all of you who congratulated me and celebrated my completing of my 30 videos in 30 days challenge. It was an amazing effort and I was really proud, but really lovely to get your support and your comments and your congratulations. So thank you very much. I hope you will stay with me as I develop my next themes for my YouTube journey. And I've been thinking about what themes these might be, and two have really come to mind, which I'll be really interested in your views about. So the first one is a theme called Education Matters. And under there, I want to bundle my thoughts on education, any experiences as a trustee in the education system, anything I read, anything I come across, and anything really just to celebrate about education and young people and how we can prepare them for the world. I already have my first video lined up for that. I haven't planned too far ahead yet. I've just been dwelling on that particular theme, but I'm really passionate about education and preparing our young people for life ahead. So I think that makes perfect sense as something for me to explore as a continuing story and a continuing sharing with you. The second theme is something I'm also really passionate about, particularly in business, and that is collaboration. What really springs to mind for me here is doing something that explores how I see collaboration. I think there's something really important about this idea of connecting, creating, and collaborating. And I'd really like to explore those three themes in another channel, another playlist. I'll also be sharing what I learn from Paul Skinner's book on collaborative advantage. I posted about that a few weeks ago when I went to the launch at the Museum of Brands. I will put a link to that particular YouTube story in the description under this particular video. So if you want to go back and see it, you can. But Paul talks about collaborative advantage as a new way of thinking about how we grow and how we get ahead in the future. For a very long time, business has talked about competitive advantage, and that's been the predominant business idea for a very long time. And what he's saying is that perhaps that's not quite so fit for purpose going into the future. And he's written a book about collaborative advantage, but what I love about it is at the end of each section there's a little list of questions to ask yourself so that you can start to understand how really to develop your purpose and your collaborative advantage from that. So I'm really looking forward to delving into that, but also sharing some of that journey with you. The other thing I wanted to share with you today is a really useful resource I came across when I was doing my 30 videos in 30 days. Now there's still more to learn from this resource, and I will put a link again in the description section underneath this video. But it's on YouTube, and if you look up Justin Brown Primal Video, he does these great short YouTube tutorials, I guess you'd call them. He looks at what's the best editing software for different types of phones, whether you have an iPhone or an Android. I came across a really great one that had these 12 top tips for filming professional content on your phone. So some of the things I got out of that were practicing where to look. We know that was a bit of a struggle early in my 30 videos in 30 days. Going horizontal is harder than it looks, people. And then the second thing that really struck me was actually, I'd really encourage you to get into editing and exploring editing software. It's really, really easy to use. I've been using a free version of KineMaster's Power Director on my phone. So I film content, and then you can drop it into this app and actually edit it on your phone. It's really quite easy to do. But the reason I encourage you to get into editing is that when I first started, there was this sense of I had to do all 5 minutes in one take. And I think that puts pressure on you. I think I was a little rambly, and sometimes I didn't really think about what I was saying, and my third point relates to that. But when you edit, all of a sudden you get a different sense of what works, how to pause, and it actually helped me to start structuring some of my content and introducing other elements like titles and dropping in, other videos and things like that. So I'd really encourage you, if you're looking at developing your YouTube skills, try and get into some editing software sooner rather than later. It really shifted the experience a lot for me, and I'm still exploring how I can do more. The third point is get some bullet points in front of you before you start. So again, when I started, a lot of the times I didn't know what I was going to say. Stuff would occur to me on the tube home, or I'd see something and I would just share. But now I'm looking at this as more of a series of vlogs, looking at sharing different types of information. One of the things I've been doing over the last sort of 4 or 5 is gathering my thoughts in a little notebook and then preparing some key bullet points, so that one, I have a guide and I've had to think about the key points. It stops rambling, and it has a better flow, I think. But also, when you do your bullet points, it means you don't have to do this all in one run. If you combine the bullet points with the editing idea, you can talk about one bullet point, stop, read your notes, come back again, second bullet point, stop, read your notes. So it gives you much more of a structure, and gives you the opportunity to really get your 3 points across. It also leaves space between each of the things you say. So if there are things that don't work, or you want to cut things out or drop things in, you're not having to find space in the middle of a rambling sentence to do it. So that's my third tip, is to get some bullet points in front of you, even if it's 2 or 3. It will just keep you on track. So my fourth learning, and this was the last video, the celebration video that I did, my day 30, and this was about lighting. So I hadn't thought so much about this before. As you know, I did several of my vlogs outside, and you can be a little bit at the mercy of the sunlight and the clouds. And I did notice in a couple of the videos where I was sitting under trees that sometimes the light would shift as the sun shone through the leaves and the wind moved the leaves, which I think was okay given we were outside. But having a look at some of the videos that I'd done inside, and having a look at how Justin Brown talked about lighting in this 12 key steps video, I really saw the difference about, lighting your whole face. It's not terribly easy. I have to play around a bit with where to position the 2 lamps that I use on either side, because the reflection happens on my glasses. But still, it's another skill and it's another thing to think about. So they're my 4 key tips for helping you on your YouTube journey. Please share with me, add your comments if you're learning other things about your YouTube journey. I'd love to hear about them. I think the more we can support each other in this journey, the better it will be. I know certainly your comments and feedback have really spurred me on, and I'd like to be able to do the same for you. So this is Kim Hamer, still live on YouTube. I hope you found that really useful today. I am signing off from Shay G'day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.